So we're going to get back into your soul's mission and purpose, but I want to know more about this energy that you're flowing. What is this energy that you're flowing? Restored faith. I'm hearing we've been waiting for you. It's almost like there's a soul or a group of souls who at this higher self level have been waiting to connect with you. Maybe you needed to allow in this greater amount of divine energy in order to reach them. With the Eight of Swords, people feeling trapped, restricted, victimized, paralyzed by fear. And I'm just hearing, I'm here. I'm here now. You've arrived. You've arrived in a place or a social group or arrived in someone's life right when they've needed you. They've been waiting for you on a higher self level. But you feel torn in some way with the Two of Swords upright, feeling like you've got one foot in two different worlds or one foot in two different places, feeling in limbo. Not sure which world you're supposed to be living in or which purpose you're supposed to be living out, which path you're supposed to be taking. But what you don't see is how much your presence here on one of these paths is bringing so much hope, so much faith to so many people who have felt powerless or felt paralyzed. I'm hearing a voice to the voiceless, but you don't even consciously realize that. We have the Hanged Man reversed. Yeah, there's like someone feeling discontent with this limbo they're in, feeling torn. Maybe you're feeling like you have to choose, but you don't actually have to choose. I'm hearing dual purposes. Maybe you're serving more than one soul purpose at this time. And so this influx of energy has been about keeping you in balance, fueling you so that you're able to be so multidimensional, so that you're able to serve so many different purposes at once, because this can be very tiring as a soul. Maybe in this lifetime, you've always felt the need to choose between different aspects of yourself, different purposes, different goals or dreams, maybe different people in your life that you desire to connect with. But I'm hearing it's not all or nothing, that there's a reason. If you have a multitude of pure soul desires, whether it comes to certain things you want to create, to do, to express, somehow they all fit together in this overarching tapestry of your soul's mission and purpose here. I'm hearing holding a light, that you are holding a light to something. I literally see someone holding a lantern, just like on the Hermit card, which is actually the card that we've pulled at the bottom of the deck. It's interesting, it's at the bottom of the deck. It's almost something so deep in your psyche that you've forgotten that it's there. And this might be this sense of isolation in the world, this sense of aloneness that you've carried with you your whole life. You're alone, but you're holding a light for others. I'm hearing, for some reason, I heard many of your kind don't incarnate anymore because they are acting as spiritual guides from the higher realms. Maybe you are a very ancient soul with some deep roots. I'm hearing starseed and ancestry. Maybe that's resonant for someone. Maybe you consider yourself to be a starseed of a specific kind. Maybe you've been called to even look into that recently. But regardless, there's almost this sense that there are very few incarnated souls on this planet at this time who are as ancient as you are, because many of them no longer incarnate. I'm hearing because of the density. So planet Earth is such a dense planet that because they have evolved and expanded themselves energetically, where their vibration is very high and fine. It's a rough ride, for lack of better wording, to incarnate on earth when you have such a fine, high tuned vibration. But you have that vibration and chose to incarnate anyway. And once again, we have the question presented, why? Why are you here? Maybe that's a question you've been asking yourself for so long. Why am I here? What is my purpose here? Well, you have a huge purpose here. It involves holding a light, but you've also felt so alone. Why was I about to say involved? Involved in something, involved with someone. Interesting. Okay, so I feel like we're reading really deeply into someone's Akashic records here. Of course, that invisible library of unlimited information that exists invisibly around us all the time, that we are able to access. With the Six of Pentacles, you have a very naturally generous spirit. You give so freely of your time, your energy, maybe even your physical things. I'm hearing physical things have never really mattered much to you, even if you have had a lot of those successes. Even if you have experienced a lot of material abundance, it's not the priority for you. And I'm hearing the kind of person that would give the shirt off their back to anyone, even a stranger, if they needed it. But that's also why you have such an abundant energy, because you're so free flowing. You're so giving with your time, with your energy, maybe with your material things. And I'm hearing it always comes back to you, or it will always come back to you. We have the Sun card reversed. For some reason, I keep picking up on this imbalanced masculine energy. I'm hearing I came to wake you up. I didn't come just to love you, but to wake you up. I'm not sure why I'm getting that. Of course, you are this being of love, but it's almost as though a major component of why you incarnated on Earth at this time was to wake up. And I'm feeling it's not just one person or a group of people, but a very, very large segment of the collective that you came to awaken, whether you realize you are doing this awakening work or not. And for some reason, I keep getting this may have something to do with the masculine collective. I'm hearing masculine energy became very unbalanced on the planet, domineering in a sense because it was wounded. Maybe you resonate more so as a divine feminine. Why am I hearing double agent? It's almost like you incarnated and played a role for a while, but the whole time within that role, you were not this double agent in a deceitful sense, but in the sense that you were playing some kind of role, but awakening people from the inside out the entire time. And this had something to do with recalibrating the hierarchy between masculine and feminine energy, which of course really isn't a hierarchy at all, but an interplay. It's a balance, or meant to be a harmonious dance, a harmonious balance, but it became very unbalanced.
The other day, I had a dream that I was speaking to a man I know, and then he began to walk away from me. I followed him, but I had a very hard time catching up. He eventually went into some sort of shack. When I went into the shack, there was a group of people in there, and it looked like they were having some sort of Bible study. But the guy that I was following wasn't there any longer. He had disappeared somehow. So I stepped backwards out of the shack and began walking around the small building. I found him sitting in the door jamb of a second door on the side of the shack. Him sitting there would have prevented me from using that particular door, but I didn't use that door. I walked backwards and went around the building. Realizing that he couldn't escape me, he stood up and faced me. He grabbed my waist with his right hand and my right hand with his left hand. Then he held me very firm and close to him. Throughout this dream, he had his eyes turned from me. He refused to look me in the eye, and he had an air of sadness about him. My left hand was free to move around. I ran my free hand through his hair and giggled, "You're getting a lot of gray hair." Although there was sprinkles of gray hair all over the right side of his head, most of them were concentrated in a circle right over the center of the side of his head. This gray hair shows that he was maturing and becoming more wise. Then he began to lead me in a dance. This dance felt very real. I could feel the stiffness in my joints as we first began to dance. With our bodies pressed very tightly against each other, we began to twist and turn and swirl around. After a while, the dance came to an end. Still, he held me firmly, and his face was turned away from me. We were pressed so tightly together that we could feel each other's muscles move. I wanted to continue dancing and tried to lead. He quickly took control of the situation, and we began to spin in place. Then I leaned my upper body backwards, as if to do a back bend, and looked up at the stars. And I began to giggle as the stars spun round and round and round. And that was the end of the dream.
And this had something to do with recalibrating the hierarchy between masculine and feminine energy, which of course really isn't a hierarchy at all, but an interplay. It's a balance, or meant to be a harmonious dance, a harmonious balance, but it became very unbalanced. So it's like you came in to spark these activations, maybe within the masculine collective, maybe with people that you were connecting with or interacting with throughout your life. I'm hearing seeds planted. I'm going to be reshuffling the cards here, but it's almost like the sense I get is that some of the masculines that you've woke up, they misunderstood your role in their life. Maybe these were friends, maybe these were, some of these individuals may have been above you in a human sense, like a boss, or maybe a parental figure, a mentor growing up. For many of you, I just am getting this sense there was this misunderstanding of the role that you were supposed to play in some of these masculines' life, because I'm hearing that you were here to awaken them and to heal them, or to allow this healing to take place within them. But it's almost like I see chains, like they may have tried to lock you into something, or tried to contain you or control you, possess you in some way, when you were meant to be this free high priestess. I just keep hearing misunderstanding your role. You don't misunderstand your role. At a deep level, I feel you intuitively know what you are meant to be doing, how you are meant to be moving through life, although at times you might question it from a human level, because it can feel very confusing to be living a life that is so different from many of the people around you. It can evoke feelings of urgency or restlessness. It can make our human self want to fight the natural unfolding, the divine timing at play in our lives. I'm hearing soon it's going to be clear why you waited, or why something seemed to be taking so long, because the whole time you've been laying some kind of groundwork unconsciously, or maybe the divine has been laying some kind of groundwork for you. Now, for some of you, this could be related to love. That won't be the case for everyone, but I did get all tied up reversed and door to romance in the upright position. So this could represent something stuck, beginning to move forward in love. But the thing about these cards is they're sitting on the third eye chakra, the seat of intuition. It's almost like something has to transform psychically, intuitively, before the stuck energy can break loose. Well, it was never really stuck to begin with. My guides are correcting me. It was being prepared, but it felt stuck from a human level. Something that's taking place psychically through the third eye is actually allowing a door to open in love. What is this door that's opening in love? Queen of Wands. So maybe, especially if you resonate with divine feminine energy, you had to become the Queen of Wands in order to, with the Ten of Cups, in order to lock in this very powerful love union, whether this is the harmonizing of a current romantic connection in your life, the return of someone from your past, or meeting someone entirely new. I'm getting that it's almost like you had to become the Queen of Wands. I'm seeing a sunflower. That might be resonant for someone. Turning towards the sun. Sunflowers turn towards the sun. And then we got the Sun card. And this is actually the masculine. So it's almost like now that you've bloomed and you're showing your colors, you are showing your petals, we should say, as that sunflower, as that Queen of Wands energy. You're now turning towards the sun, which the Sun card in the traditional tarot tends to represent divine masculine energy. So you're turning towards a divine masculine who, but it's almost like you're sitting on this throne now waiting. Maybe that's where you feel as though this is taking a long time to come together, because this masculine with the Sun card reversed may still be in the dark, or still, I'm hearing, walking through the veil of shadows, whatever that means. Maybe going into the depths of their own shadow. I'm hearing not ready to appreciate you or to see you in your full empowerment, but connecting with you psychically and subconsciously with the Star card. I'm hearing you feel this person like a heartbeat. I'm not sure why that's coming up in that way, but it's like they are energetically within you, psychically connected to you, but physically in the dark, walking through the shadows. You're in this very light energy, sitting on your throne here as the Queen of Wands, but there's also, it's almost like the Queen of Wands here has her head turned. Again, it's like that sunflower turning towards the sun. And you're watching or psychically aware of this divine masculine going through the shadows, waking up, but you're kind of just sitting there, almost like stoic, waiting for something. Maybe your soul is waiting for something powerful to come together in love. And even though at times your human self has been trying to fight that divine timing, at a deeper level, you have this awareness that something really powerful is being prepared here for you. It's like you know it in this concrete but very psychic way, with the Hierophant really sitting on the crown chakra and the third eye. It's almost like something you feel so certain about, that feels so concrete, like set in stone, almost written in stone. And yet it's known not physically, but psychically and spiritually. This also could apply to something you know about, some internal aspect of yourself that you've been waiting to come together, or it might look like waiting for others, but really, I'm seeing someone watching construction taking place. It's like you're watching a construction taking place energetically that others cannot see, but that you know in this concrete way is taking place.